Hello, Kansas, and welcome back to the Blulady Intuition Tarot channel. I hope that you all are doing well today. I am going to be pulling a few cards just to get a sense of the energy that is out there. Please remember to take what resonates and leave the rest behind. Um, there's just been a lot of energy that I've been picking up on, in particular as it relates to the divine masculine and the divine feminine, right? And what I've been receiving, the downloads that I've been receiving is as it relates to the evolution of the divine masculine and the divine feminine, right? And so this will be a love reading for all of my Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, Ascending, and Venus signs. So I hope that you find this helpful. And let's begin. Even as I begin to shuffle my deck, the first card that comes out is the Strength card, right? That card also came out as well. Multiple cards came out. We'll take those cards that came out as well, because there is a lot of energy right now. Okay. So, Cancers, what I am sensing right now at this time is that a lot of you have closed out a cycle and you've entered into a new cycle, right? It took a lot of strength for you to close out the previous cycle, because I get the sense that a lot of you would have chosen yourself as, divine beings, right? So remember, in tarot, there is no gender. It can go either way, whether it be male or female, woman or man. But, it took a lot of strength for you to choose yourself, right? And since the passing of the Lionsgate portal, there's a lot of activity that has arisen. And so there's a lot of things going on right now between you and your divine masculine. Um, but, I get the sense that some of you may have been separated for some time. And during that separation, you may have come to certain conclusions and certain realizations that you are who you are, and people just have to accept that. For those that don't accept that, then they have no place in your life. But I am just getting the sense that it was an exercise of self actualization and self awareness, where you had to look in the mirror and really accept who you are, regardless of what may have been placed on you. And what I mean by that, Cancers, is that I get the sense that some of you may have had a life where decisions would have been made for you. Um, I'm getting an energy of being coddled to some degree, but really and truly, you weren't in an environment where you were allowed to spread your wings and be who you are unapologetically. So, people may have placed things on you, placed ideas on you, placed, um, this image on you, really without your consent. But, at the time when this would have been taking place, Cancers, you weren't really at a stage where you could really speak up for yourself, okay? And so look at the energy now as it is. There has been a lot of growth, right? There's been so much growth from the time that you would have been, I want to say, asleep, to the point now that you're awakened to who you are. But more than that, Cancers, it's not so much awakening to who you are, but more so accepting that, right? Accepting it so much so that no one can come in and tell you who you are because you have acknowledged it, you've accepted it, and now you have embodied it. So even with the King of Swords, there is this energy of I've been through the ringer and now I am here. There was a lot of noise in my mind in terms of what people perceive me to be, and now I'm canceling out that noise, I'm silencing it, and I'm focusing on the inner voice within myself, right? With the Queen of Pentacles, Cancers, this is going to usher in a lot of abundance because it went from the Nine of Pentacles to the Queen of Pentacles. So there has been like a journey of getting to this level of abundance. And abundance don't only has it doesn't only have to come in the form of finances, mind you. Knowing yourself and embodying that is wealth in and of itself, right? Because you have so many people out here who don't know who they are, but you're coming into your own and you are letting that shine through, Cancers, right? With the Nine of Cups, it's been a long journey. You know, it took time for you to get to this place, Cancers, and you are now really taking it all in and really living out what it is that you came here to do, right? And even with this string card, like what I would say, Kansas, is with this string card, you are the lion in this photo, right? This seems to be a female lion, right? You are the lioness in this photo, right? And this lady behind you is your spiritual guide who is with you every step of the way. She allows you to make decisions for yourself. The guide allowed you to make decisions so that you could learn the lessons that you need to learn. And so when you get to a point where you need to really put into play those lessons, at least you would have gone through that simulation where I've been there, I've done that. So it ushers in a certain level of confidence for you, right, Cancers? Um, it's a really strong energy, you know. Oh, let's see what this is. Oh, let's not um offend the YouTube people, right? But this is the star card. So let me just put this down for a second. So as you can see, this is the star card. It's like a wish is coming through, right? And this card also came up in the previous reading that I did. And it just confirms to me, Cancers, that the journey and the pathway that you were meant to be on, it took certain things taking place for you to actually get to the point to where you are now, right? You would have gone through a period of going through lessons. You would have gone through a period of identifying and acknowledging blockages and then doing something to clear those blockages out, right? It was really a period of self awareness, taking accountability and responsibility for your particular role in the breakdown, is what I'm hearing. Because the energy that I'm getting now, this seems to be a reading for my divine feminines who are currently in separation from their divine masculine. And the separation was needed to really bring into focus the things that needed to be worked on, as well as the things that were lacking within you personally, right? So, for example, you may have looked to your divine masculine to validate certain things that you were doing, but you anything that you needed to validate yourself was all within you from the beginning. So this journey was one where the lesson for you was to refrain from looking outward and really going inward with what you know you have going on, you know um and to also take accountability and responsibility for your being and your person, right? To the back of the deck we have the Fool's card, and so some of you at this time may be making a decision to really throw caution to the wind, because I get the sense, Cancers, that there is no wrong or right answer. There is only growth going forward. And there is a certain level of courage and bravery that you now have based off the lessons that you would have learned. So, for instance, if you felt as though, just as simple as reaching out to someone, right? Let's just say reaching out to your divine masculine or your divine feminine, right? You may have really been in your head about it, but at this point in time, you are not, because you have allowed yourself the grace and the compassion to make decisions without the decisions being so much so that you're so you criticize yourself, right? It's almost like you have eliminated the criticisms of yourself, and I don't know why criminalization came in, but maybe you came up in a household, or you was brought up in a household where certain acts seemed as though they were criminalized, right? Where your maybe your guardians or your parents made you feel as though the acts that you know did or committed was so wrong that it warranted like the level of punishment that it did. Really and truly, it didn't. But it had in your mind that certain things were just, it made it very black and white, where it was right or wrong, right? And sometimes, even though logic plays a role in certain things, Cancers, you have to be able to make decisions as well from your heart space. And the family that you came from didn't really allow you that safe environment where you could make decisions from your heart space. It was very logical. Maybe you came from a family where everyone was in survival mode. I'm getting the sense that some of you would have been raised in a single parent home, or you may have been raised by people other than your biological parents, but it really did put you in a state of survival. And now that you are at this point, it's almost like those armors that you would have placed on yourself in order to protect yourself, they are falling off voluntarily, because Spirit is saying that you don't need that armor. We are here with you, and we are here to protect you. And so, even though you may not be able to see us at this time, Cancers, even when you don't see a missile coming, it's like is saying we're jumping in the way to absorb you from that pain and that threat of that missile making contact, right? And so, you know, give yourself a little grace, right? These two cards came up just now, and once again, we don't want to offend the YouTube people, right? And so this is the devil card, as you can see, but it's in the reverse. So we're going to, there's a lot of cards coming out that could offend the YouTube people, right? But really and truly, even with the Three of Swords in reverse, you may have went through a period where you may have felt heartbroken, Cancers, right? You may have felt as though, why is this happening to me? For those of you that may be in separation with your significant other, you didn't understand the purpose of the separation. But I get now that as time has um progressed, and as the wombs healed, you now have a new perspective on why it is that you needed this time to be away from one another. And even with the Three of Swords in reverse, it indicates to me, Cancers, that you are no longer in a state of heartbreak. In the upright, it would have meant that you were, but currently have you've worked through that. You have cleared out those insecurities, those doubts, those questions, even so much so that some of you may have even been in contact with your divine counterpart to clear the air, is what I'm hearing, right? Because since 2022 would have ushered in, I just get the sense that there would have been a lot of betrayals, and maybe you may have experienced betrayals in your connection. And even with the devil card in reverse, the codependency that you may have had in this connection has been dissolved be- as a result of being separated and as a result of really like finding your own way, your own path, um, establishing boundaries, and really seeing the value within yourself, right? Now, on the floor, there was this hermit card. So, some of you may have been in a period where you were isolated and you were just kind of like searching for the answers, but it wasn't necessarily a time where you may have done so much socializing, right? You really kept to yourself. And this did assist you more than you would know because it canceled out the noise of others coming in and putting their opinions on you. Keeping in mind that these other these people, they're not in the same position as you. They have yet to meet their divine counterpart, right? But they may have been in such a position where they could really put a lot into your ear about what you should be doing, what they should be doing. Keeping in mind that they've never even they're so far away from meeting their divine counterparts, right? So just keep that in mind, Cancers. And as you move silently. Going forward, for those of you that, are making the necessary steps. The Two of Swords is also coming in, so it seems as though you have a decision to make on the horizon. Um, and that decision could very well be whether you resume a connection or you leave it behind. Whichever decision you make, Cancers, what I will say is ensure that it is a decision that you make for yourself, right? It is a decision that you truly make for yourself without the influence and the impact of anyone else. Okay? So let's see. What other messages do you have for my Cancer spirit? Oh, even this came out in the reverse, the Five of Cups in my last reading that was upright. So I get the sense that a lot of you are working on whatever codependency that you may have. As the Empress, something is being birthed, and something is in the form, it's in the phase of being birthed, right? So you're working on something is an incubation period, and so it's going to take some time. You may not see the results right there and then, but just be patient with it because you do have options with the Seven of Cups coming in, Cancers, and with the Wheel of Fortune. Trust me, cycles come and cycles go. There is a time for happiness, there is a time for sadness, there is a time for inflection, reflection. There is a time where it's seasons to this, right? And so you can't really um ignore the fact that things happen in seasons, is what I'm hearing, right? Can't really ignore that. And with the Sun card, there's going to be happiness that comes through. Certain things will be revealed because light is being shed on those things that you may have had certain queries and uncertainties about. is going to come to the light, right? Yeah, so it's going to be an opportunity where you can, it's a new opportunity is coming in, a new opportunity with an individual because this King of Cup energy, I'm not sensing that it's your energy, but with the page of King of Pentacles, sorry, with the Page of Cups, there is a new emotional um opportunity coming in, right? And even with this Knight of Wands in reverse, some of you may be going back, right? Because in the upright position is moving away, but it being this way is like going back, right? So some of you may be revisiting certain relationships, certain connections, um, before you really make a decision on what it is that you want to do, just based off the growth that you would have made, right? So I'm sensing that for some of you in the past, when relationships ended, you may have been the type of person to just cut it off completely, but you have had a change of perspective whereby you would prefer to not take that stance because it was a stance of survival. And with you no longer being in survival mode, it really isn't necessary, right? So I am going to, oh wow. Okay, so cards are falling on the floor. I'm trying to pick it up. So we have the Ace of Pentacles and the Six of Wands. Yes, Cancers, there's a new opportunity coming in for you where it can improve your financial standing. But more than that, you will be able to take a victory walk. People will be celebrating you. People will be encouraging you based off the journey that you would have had to go through, right? And even with the page, the Ten of Pentacles at the back of the deck, um, High Priestess, right? Even with the page, I don't know why I keep saying the page because that just lets me know that something new is coming in, really and truly, and it can take you from left field. So just be prepared for it when it comes in. um at least with this reading, it won't take you by surprise that something new is coming in, but something new is coming in, Cancers. But with this Ten of Pentacles, you would have gone through all that you need to go through to get to that point, because you have to go from 1 to 10, and 10 is the number, for some they say completion, right? I'm marrying 10, 10, the Bible 10, right? So embrace this time, Cancers, and continue to evolve, continue to grow, continue to really make the decisions for yourself, absent of the noise of others, right? Because it really is something that keeps you awake at night. You're so based off your nurturing and loving nature, you really take things to heart, and so it's good that you're moving. It's good for you to move in silence at this time so that you can avoid the noise in the market. Okay, Cancers? So I hope this reading was helpful for you. I wish you all the best, and I'll see you in the next reading. Okay? Bye. Have a good one.